I may be the mistress of evil, but I'm not all bad. Watch my backstory and you'll change your mind about me. Maleficent, directed by Robert Stromberg, and is the second Disney live-action remake overall. Well, technically it's more a prequel slash reimagining than a remake of the 1951 Disney animated classic Sleeping Beauty. So Maleficent tells the story. It's literally a different take on the origin story of one of Disney's greatest villains, Maleficent, showing the good side of her, showing how she was more misunderstood than you would think. She is a decent fairy living in the moors, and the kingdom and the moors are currently at war with one another, and Maleficent, she falls in love with King Stefan as when he's a boy, but once the dying king of the kingdom promises the one who kills Maleficent will marry his daughter and become king, Stefan betrays Maleficent by cutting her wings off in her sleep, and so that he can deceive the king into thinking he killed Maleficent, making him king. And Maleficent, she's justifiably deeply pissed about this, and similar to the original Sleeping Beauty, she turns up to the celebration of Aurora's birthday uninvited and curses her with the spindle on a spinning wheel 16th birthday thing. And then where the story takes a different turn, where Maleficent, she watches over Aurora, and the two form a mother and daughter bond. The original Sleeping Beauty is my mum's favourite Disney movie, and I can see why. I can have some room for it somewhere in my top 10 best Disney movies. Critics hated Maleficent so much, it's as if they pricked their finger on the spindle of the spinning wheel itself. Sadly, of all the Disney live-action remakes, Maleficent has been the most negatively received and panned. My mum especially disowned this movie at the time, as she isn't a fan of Angelina Jolie, nor is she a fan of Disney remaking Sleeping Beauty, her favourite Disney classic. I can't say I blame her if they were to touch her favourite from Disney, as I have disowned that shitty Lion King remake, because The Lion King is my favourite. But when I judge Maleficent in comparison to the other Disney live-action remakes, please don't hurt me, but I don't hate Maleficent. Calm down, Maleficent haters. I'm not going as far as calling Maleficent a perfect movie. Hell no. And it certainly isn't even a patch on the wonderful original Sleeping Beauty, but I can't believe Maleficent is the one Disney remake to receive all the hate. Heck, the shitty Beauty and the Beast remake deserves the hate instead of Maleficent. That remake was infinitely worse. So let's get to my more positive, generous thoughts on Maleficent first, before I do get to its problems. Firstly, I love that this movie isn't a shot-for-shot rehash of Sleeping Beauty, how it's told the plot from a different character's perspective to help us to see maybe Maleficent wasn't entirely in the wrong after all. And I personally think it's fresh and great so that we get to see a more tender side to Maleficent's character, and a different version of Sleeping Beauty, not just the exact same plot all over again. Disney should make more live action adaptations like this, instead of just rehashing the same old story from the classics. Don't get me wrong, Angelina Jolie, she may not be the greatest actress in the world, but as Maleficent, this is her greatest role. She's simply magnificent, especially in the moments where she's simply magnificent in the moment where she is playing the Mistress of Evil herself when she attends Aurora's birthday party, and even in the moments where she is forming a bond with Aurora out in the woods and is being more kind. And one of Angelina Jolie's daughters cameos in this movie as younger Aurora, and that was adorable to see. Angelina Jolie, she isn't better than Maleficent's original voice actress, but she is a worthier follow-up for sure, and the best performance of this entire movie. And I dug and was interested in seeing the more. The more was breathtaking and magical to behold. It was never in the original Sleeping Beauty movie, but whenever this movie isn't trying to be the original movie and is just being its own thing, that's when it excels, and the more's no exception. I love seeing the fairy tale like creatures and just the landscapes, the forests, the lakes. Visually, this is easily the best of the live action remakes. It has good CGI for a change in these remakes. Ella Fanning as Aurora, amazing. She perfectly suits Aurora. Sure, Aurora has less personality than the supporting characters in the original film. So thank God they did something new with her character, how she was this version of Aurora was more raised by Maleficent than she was the fairies, and she becomes so closer to Maleficent, and she realizes, oh, my father, King Stefan, is a dick. I must protect Maleficent. I must unite our kingdoms together in peace. You may find this hard to believe, but this version of Aurora has more personality to her and serves more narrative purpose than the Aurora in the original. And the mother and daughter bond between Maleficent and Aurora was so beautiful. And Aurora could have been Maleficent's daughter had King Stefan had been with her instead of the queen of the kingdom. So it's awesome to see Maleficent take care of the child and the daughter that she never has. And everybody criticizes the twist that it's Maleficent's kiss that revives Aurora, not the prince. They call that a rip-off of the twist in Frozen. It isn't. Frozen's twist was showing that sister love can be true love. This twist is showing that mother and daughter love can be true love. It doesn't have to be romantic love. And King Stefan in this movie, he's a dick. I'm defending the decision to make King Stefan the villain, as he makes for every bit as a classic Disney antagonist as the original Maleficent is. Bastard totally wronged poor Maleficent in every way for his own selfish gain. This may not be an action movie, but it still contains some watchable action, especially the battle with the Moor creatures and the kingdom's knights. That was rather epic, and even the climactic fight where Maleficent's raven transforms into a dragon and is taking out the soldiers, and you never thought you'd be rooting for Maleficent in the finale to kick King Stefan's ass, but you are convinced, you feel for Maleficent. Now let's address the negatives. Even though I'm kind to Maleficent, it's still an imperfect retelling. Whenever this movie is failing is when it's trying to be the original Sleeping Beauty, especially the fairies. These are supposed to be the fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather? What the fuck? The fairies were the best characters in the original. In this movie, they're the worst. Gone are the sweet and charming and lovable fairies from the original. In this version, they are annoying and brassy and do nothing but bicker constantly. It's as if I was in a constant battle with with Disney. I was like, make them animated, make them live action, make them animated, make them live action, similar to that duel which Flora and Merryweather will have over the colour of Aurora's dress. Lana Del Rey's creepy cover of Once Upon a Dream. Yeah, that cover doesn't work for that song whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, not to criticise Lana Del Rey, as she is an astonishing singer, but Disney should have been okay with her doing her own song for Maleficent. If she included an original song in the soundtrack, I wouldn't have minded that. In fact, some of my subscribers that post singing covers, Elena, Sandra, Angela, they could do far superior covers of Once Upon a Dream. Did this movie even need Prince Philip in it? So at least Prince Philip, he was a gallant and a badass hero who would stop at nothing to rescue Aurora from her deep sleep in the finale of the original. But in Maleficent, we didn't need him. This should have just been Aurora and Maleficent's story. The pacing did drag in the second half, where they do spend a little too long in the forest. He also threw in the predictable misunderstanding where Aurora, she found out Maleficent cursed her, so she runs away back to the castle. No. We know they're going to make up again anyway, so there's no need to have them fall out. So overall, I don't think Maleficent is that bad, especially in comparison to the other Disney live-action remakes. Sure, it has its flaws, but to me, it's one of the better, if not the best, Disney live-action remake ever made. Please, Disney, give us a Scar Origins movie where we get to see his relationship with Mufasa further fleshed out in his childhood. That would be awesome. As for this movie's upcoming sequel, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, sure, it's totally unnecessary, but as long as it's decent, I'll be satisfied. Please don't be the Alice Through the Looking Glass of 2019. I give Maleficent 3 stars out of 5. Good movie. So what do you say after this review? Is Maleficent really that bad? Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Maleficent? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google+, and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review the 2010 Tim Burton live-action remake of Alice in Wonderland. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.